2024 has been a wild whiskey year, trying hundreds of different whiskies from Scotch to Irish, English, French, Indian,
a few moments later,
Danish, and so many more. Some have been truly stunning stuff, and that makes this annual Whisky of the Year choice even harder. Therefore this year I'm splitting it in two, Scotch versus the world.
Isn't that a bit dramatic?
My whiskey hoard is about 70% Scotch, but for this one, I'm taking everything but Scotch and throwing out my Whisky of the Year. Welcome back to Jeff Whisky, the whiskey slapper in the shirt and shades. If this sounds good, slap subscribe, but for now, let's crack on.
Jeff Whisky.
So this part one of my whiskey throwdown is all about everything but Scotch. I did think to milk the whiskey tube highlight of the year and make a video for each region, but that just sounded like too much work. So let's just dive in and talk about one of the runners up. This beauty. Westland American single malt whiskey. I've been really fortunate to have tried multiple drams of this before buying a bottle, and I was able to wait for a really good price. And now that I've actually cracked it open, I can finally include it in a Whisky of the Year video.
That took you long enough.
I do love the Gariana, maybe slightly more than this, but that's just far too pricey for me, and this is just an absolute banger. Sub 50 quid here in the UK, 46%, all natural, and most importantly, it shows those details on the awesome looking label. Feels a while since I've been sat down behind the camera, and I just feel like I'm flying through this.
Slow down. Take it easy. What's your hurry?
The nose is like super sweet, sugary, mapley, a bit jammy. There's like cherries, like Dr. Pepper. It's very biscuity. The Nice biscuits, you know the one? Biscuits? The Nice biscuits, which has got like the sugar on it and yeah, like malty milk sweetness. I'd also say it's a bit mulled winey. It's very like a Christmassy, hearty nose. The palate is just so malty. Malty.
All kinds of malt.
Like milk chocolate, sweet milk chocolate. It's a little bit coffee-like. It's a bit Sabrina Carpenter. It's a bit espresso. Don't think I've ever felt any more old daddish than saying that.
If you get it, you get it, you know?
It is really rich, creamy, sweet. It's quite nutty.
It's a bit nutty.
Just so solid. Custardy. Bit prickly. And I'm sure another word ending in Y. Just such a solid, juicy,
good call.
delight of a whiskey. I would say for me it feels a bit between Scotch and bourbon. Maybe it's also subliminal, but this single malt whiskey does have kind of like those bourbon warmth, malty cherries kind of spice. Really, really great. Banging stuff. And that brings me to my second and final runner-up, because I've decided to only do two.
We will see about that.
Of course, following the inaugural English Whisky Awards, there has to be some representation for it, and this is a bit of a hype bottle getting big praise in a lot of places. The Wireworks Bourbon Barrel. Now this done great in the Oswars and also in the English Whisky Awards. You can watch the inaugural English Awards back, clicking the link down below. It won overall Best English Whisky in a very tight race. This beauty from White Peak is fully natural and sitting at a big 53.4% ABV.
Got a little bit of kick to it.
The bottle itself is stunning, like the glass shape is awesome, like intertwined wires. So many details, information on the label, and it's just been done really well. And it also helps that the liquid is just spectacular. Again, another try before I buy bottle. Tried it and yeah, instant buy. This feels like a bottle that really helped get White Peak on the map, and it's just elevated the distillery. The nose is just large. Yes, a huge nose. It somehow has like a lemon drizzle cake, a bit of plasticine, and then a little bit of cheese. It's sweet, it's fresh, it's like a little bit floral. And there's the tiniest like little bit of smoke in there, like a little wave. It's just like a little friendly peat. And the texture.
Don't talk with your mouth full, it's disgusting.
It's just spectacular. It's just so oily, creamy and rich. It's like the English Craigellachie. That ABV, it does punch, plenty of flavour. It kind of avoids the ethanol nail polishing note. And from trying it before, it does take water really well. What's that cake with like biscuits on the bottom? Like ground up digestives. It's like a slightly burnt one of them. You've got gingerbread, bananas, custard, really mouth-watering, salivating. You've got peaches, like juicy peaches and fruit, and yeah, just an absolute banger. So good. I did think their stout release would have been more my jam, but this bottle, it just sings and shows how solid the spirit itself is. Prices do seem to vary, but in the UK it seems to be around the £60 mark, and this just stands up to other bottles at the same price, like comparing it to Benro Mac 15. So that's more expensive now, isn't it? For me, it beats that. Craigellachie 13. I would probably pick this over that now.
That, my boy, sounds like slander.
And so many more stalwarts that sit at that price. It stands up head and shoulders and just, yeah, does it right. For this, there has been other drams in the running. Redbreast 18 is just too expensive, but that really has been the Redbreast that I've been enjoying the most for a while. Then along came a brilliant trek with Phil from First Real Whisky. More on that to come in the future. The Whisky Exchange exclusive of Redbreast 1997, a cream sherry single cask. Henry, you're a legend for starting my day off right with that. It was amazing. Cake mixture, dark chocolate, all the best bits of Redbreast with the tropical fruit and just elevated in a creamy mess. And if the 18 is too expensive, this pains me to say that that Redbreast was sitting at 520 quid a bottle.
Ridiculous. I'll take 10.
Which is sitting a bit beyond this bargain bottle basher, but I do want to relive that Redbreast again. So to now, what you've been waiting for, I've got that retention number to reveal my non-Scotch whisky of 2024. I know I mentioned stout earlier and I just chatted Irish, so my pick this year is somewhere. Teeling Whiskey Stout Cask. So I tried this Irish whiskey years back, probably posted it on Instagram or something before the channel, and this bottle is just amazing. 46%, all natural, Galway based stout cask, and it takes a teeling, which I'm a big fan of, and just ramps up the fruit. If you hunt around, you can find it under 40 quid at times, and it does beat my well-loved Jameson stout cask, even if this is double the price. I've unintentionally got a fancy glass for this one. Quite a dirty looking glass actually. Professionalism. The nose is very chocolatey and just juicy berries. You got cranberries, gingerbread, vanilla and buttercream icing. Then the palate is just chocolate covered shreddies with just a barrage of fruits. You got like Christmas Yule log, raspberries, cherries, pear drops. I would say it's like a slightly spiced rum kind of flavour to it. There's a bit of like mint, ethanol, and it really just kind of like travels through the mouth and leaves it feeling like a peppermint aftertaste. Out of these three picks, this is the most sessionable. Drink responsibly.
Someone has to be a role model around here.
The 46% is just so friendly, and this is just a whiskey you could easily tank, and I'm sure this was going to be my go-to over Christmas this year. It's just so good. My pick of this year. It could have been a pick of previous years when I've tried samples of it, but I thought I'll wait to the bottle, unless I already have covered this. Should have checked, doesn't matter. Do let me know yours down below. All three certainly fit inside the sweeter pudding kind of cake range, and for full transparency, I'm not someone who really likes cake.
What is wrong with you?
I often have like candles on a pizza for my birthday. So that's my picks for this year. I am well aware that all three bottles have quite high feel levels for me to be praising them as my whiskey of the year. This year has been a lot more variety and loads of samples, and with a hectic life outside of Whiskey Dome, often I'm pouring like a quarter measure at a time. Or that I just don't really like whiskey and this is all a ruse. I've seen the rumours.
Phony, a sellout, a Hollywood poser.
A huge thanks to my channel members, the Bottle Slap Club, who have supported me in my videos. I've smashed my goals this year and done so much awesome stuff, which has just been thanks to you all, you wonderful slappers. I'm grateful to have you all here, and cheers to the next one.